All right, we have clicked the go live button. So whenever my screen decides to, oh, we're live, guys.
Oh, yeah.
What is going on? We have Designer Disguise with us tonight. We're doing the live track by track of their new album, Elswear. Very excited. They can say their names, what they do in the band, and all that jazz.
Oh, I just realized that we have the live going. Sorry. Okay, we're back. What's up?
It's all right. Shoot, what are you going
Are we doing names? Sorry.
Yes.
All of a sudden your audio came back in a little bit like behind you. Okay, I'm Jackson.
I'm Hoosty. I do vocals and guitar.
I'm Josh. I do guitar.
I do
Awesome.
lead vocals.
Woo! Well, guys, listen, you'll get that joke once you see this sick interview we did. So that's coming out in a couple weeks. So make sure to stay posted. It was a fun one. But I had asked the guys, I said, hey, you want to come on and do this live track by track? And they were like, let's go. And so now we're here, in digital format here. So hopefully you can come and join us. If you haven't listened to Elswear, you're in for a treat. We're going to be listening to the entire album. So we're going to go through it. I had told the guys that I have only listened to Stardust, so the final song on the album. So I've, already, it's like, watching a TV show and then just watching the finale. That's all I know. I only know the finale. So gonna get through all of the tracks. And obviously, guys, I'll leave links below. Go pick up the album if you can. Would greatly appreciate it. If you can't do that, definitely stream it. It will also be in the link as well below. Please go give these guys some love. We had a great interview. I'm not saying that because they're on here and we're chatting, but it was seriously one of the best interviews I've done this year so far. So, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was kind of lit. It was kind of lit. So tooting the horn. Okay, so anyway, guys, we're gonna get into Elswear. I have to ask before we start, what is your favorite song off the album? So then I can just be like, just hype for when it comes on.
I'm gonna say Abandoned Ship today.
Ooh, today. Okay.
I'm gonna go In the Hollow still.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'll go Abandoned Ship today as well.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, we have quite the track list here. I apologize that they're all in caps. That's when my computer converted them over. They're just in all caps. So I just imagine they're just being screamed at me, So, just in case I didn't know what song it was, it's like Corrupted Cyborg, So that's how I feel. But very excited to get into this. We were going to go through track 1, as I mentioned, Corrupted Cyborg. So I hope that you give this bad boy a spin with me. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat if you're hanging out. I want to give a shout out to Marissa for coming on. Thank you, Marissa, for hanging out in the chat. But yeah, definitely go check out the album if you can. But let's give the first song a listen. Corrupted Cyborg. All right, give me some movie trailer vibes here. In a world.
Oh yeah.
This does feel like a movie.
It's very Christopher Nolan.
It is very Christopher Nolan, which I like. The vibes are here. This is sick. I like this. Just imagining a bunch of Transformers fighting each other,
You get it, dude.
What? All right. This was not what I was expecting. That's a cool, I like that rhythm. All right, guys. That was track 1, Corrupted Cyborg. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? Like, I'm curious how this one came to be. Did you guys kind of have all of the songs sort of like planned out? Like, or was this, I'm curious how this one landed in the whole track listing. Which one was like kind of the first song to be, I guess, demoed out?
So actually, In the Hollow was the first one I think to have like a real kind of skeleton, like a lot of stuff on it. But then like I went and made like a few like really sort of Christopher Nolan-y, doomy, like, vibes to like introduce the album because it's sci-fi, and like we came together and chose what we thought was the coolest one. And the idea is that like the bad guys are showing up on a planet, and like when the drops, that's when like the soldiers start marching out of the ships and start exploding shit.
I could see that.
We really wanted to set the scene and have it be like cinematic, like you were saying.
Very Christopher Nolan. Like, I'm just thinking about like, you know, like I said earlier in the like reaction portion of this, just how it felt like a Transformers movie where they're like, you know, you see some just giant cyborgs fighting each other. That's what I thought.
That's exactly what Jackson was going for. Yeah. I remember when Jackson was making it, she was like, I want it to sound very mechanical, like you're on the inside of the ship and there's all these hydraulics going and steam flying around. And so when you said that, we're like, you get it.
You get it.
Yeah, I get it, you know. And it kind of had this like, and I like in the middle of the song it transitions into this like EDM like hard style kind of beat. I just thought that was really sick. I very rarely am I listening to like a ton of like electronic music, but every once in a while, shout outs to my cousin Matt. He sends me like a lot of electronic music, and that kind of reminded me of like a really cool like hard style kind of like house beat. So I thought that was really sick. And was this kind of closer to the end in regards to like putting the track listing together? Was this one like one of the last few like tying pieces to this album, or?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was kind of like closer to the end, like middle end. It was such a long period of making it.
I feel like the demo was floating around since pretty much the beginning, but we decided to include it near the end.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
To like set the stage. Once we had like the big pieces of the story, sort of like thought out and making sense, then it gave it the context for it to make sense within our story. So it wasn't just like, hey, let's put an electronic song at the beginning. It was like, this is like, you know, big cyborg, you know, part human, like soldiers showing up and just fucking blast them.
It's like Star Wars meets like Transformers. That's the thing that I kind of like thought of initially. So definitely really cool. Marissa said, I'm going to think of Transformers from now on when I listen to this song. So
hell yeah.
That's now you just got to make like a Transformers-esque like merch, then just put, you know, designer disguise on it. I'm just saying, you know, free idea, you know, you could just take it and run.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Love it. Well, guys, we're going to move it on to the second track, Destroyer. I feel like this one is going to like just going to break me, you know. I'm ready, you know. So let's go into track 2, guys, Destroyer. What? Is that some blast beats? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. Boosty. Drop the discussion and negotiate with my weaponry. You'll never get the best. Oh, okay.
I've got nothing left to lose.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh my god. You weren't kidding. God. Oh my god. I don't even know what to think, man. That was you definitely like suspended my belief on that one. I was just like, with a song like Destroyer, I feel like it's just gonna completely break me, and I was right. That one don't even I'm gonna have to take a breath and kind of reel it in here. After Corrupted Cyborg, I was not. This was like kind of the last thing I was thinking about, because I know we had the interview and you're like, there's gonna be some songs you're not gonna expect. God, fuck, you guys really definitely hit me with this. I was literally, as soon as I clicked play, I was like, what the fuck, man? This is so crazy. So this one was very sick. Whoever did the drumming on this is God. Do they have legs still? I just need to know. Cause
I saw him last week. He still had legs.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Just want to check,
He's not with us. He's not dead. He's just not with us.
We saw him last week, and we don't know what happened to him after that.
Yeah. That's shout out to Chris. He's a wonderful
God.
drummer.
Chris is goated, man. That some of those blast beats were like just nasty. I liked it. That was sick. And then the screaming was really sick. I also really enjoyed the kind of layering of the scream, because you could hear a lot of that like nice like high pitched I'm not gonna try doing it because I can't scream, but like that kind of like real like punchy kind of screaming going on, and then also in the background you can hear these like nasty lows. I was like, okay, they know what's up. I like when there's just like a good harmony within the screaming. That is just like nasty shit. I love it.
Yeah.
And then man, Hoosty was not expecting that. I know I said it in the interview, but I was like not expecting that in the slightest. So that was very cool. I thought we were going to maybe get it a little bit later on, if I'm going to be honest. I thought we were going to get a little bit of the rapping like in the next song, but to just have you throw your verses in there, that was tight. That was tight. I was about it. So kudos to Hoost, my guy.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Who's the best?
And then that breakdown, man, that was a spicy, I'm not Italian, so this means a nothing, but I love this song. This one is definitely, especially after Corrupted Cyborg, you're just like put in that moment of suspense where you're just like, what's gonna happen next, and then you just get like dropped off a skyscraper. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you can use that
So,
you can use that for your press run. You can be like, Destroyer feels like falling off a skyscraper.
You should try it sometime.
You should try it, yeah.
Excuse me.
But in regards to this song making it on the album, did it pretty much stay the same as it was in the demo, or were you guys going possibly in a different direction after this song, after you had put all the songs together, in regards to like the album, or just curious?
I think this is possibly the song that stayed the closest to the demo, actually.
Ooh, okay.
Because I do a lot of the instrumental demos, and a lot of times I'll write just like verse, chorus, and that's it. And I'll be like, okay, we're gonna plan on adding the rest of it together. And so, but this one we're just like, yep, ending here.
That was it.
It's
Yep.
It's gonna be this.
This is enough.
This is enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
To like send.
And then also like, because we're telling a story, there wasn't a lot of like cutting out entire songs or anything. It was more focused on telling the story. So
Sure.
like, because we couldn't change like the narrative, we kind of just kept all the songs we wrote, you know.
Yeah.
So it was
There's
more
no extras.
story intention being all around the story, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a quote unquote bad guy song. This is like what, from the point of view of the bad guys. They're on their ship. They're the ship that just let down all those little ships to the planet, and they're actually attacking one of the ships that came off the planet. And the next song is from the point of view that is getting attacked by the bad guy ship. So.
Oh, okay.
Very
Listen, you're preaching to the
yeah.
choir here, you know, as a nerd myself, and I also have to give you guys a lot of props on that poster. You know, very you know, Star Wars episode 3 inspired, you know, just saying. I love that shit, you know, so that was very cool.
We wanted to see ourselves in Star Wars poster form, and we couldn't be more pleased.
You guys, you got it. Listen, kudos. It came out great. I feel like if I bought it and I put it in my room in my apartment, people would be like, "Yo, 6 Star Wars poster," and I'd be like, "Yeah, Star Wars, exactly."
Music video.
Yeah, watch the music video.
Exactly. So, but this one was very cool. I like that. In regards to the storyline. I like how you guys kind of have it all fleshed out, and I know we did talk about it in the interview as well, but just I love concept albums because, you know, I grew up listening to, you know, Prada, Devil Wears Prada, and all of the Zombie EP, the Space EP, you know, all those great Chef's Kiss albums and EPs. So I do have just such an appreciation for like when bands have this thought process of putting a concept record together. Was that your guys' original thought when putting Elswear together, that you were like, man, I think we should do a concept record? Or was that just did you guys just kind of naturally gravitate towards that? Or were you just like, let's just go for it. Let's do it up, you know?
It was sort of like we had been watching, it was pandemic times, and we'd been watching, and still are watching, a lot of like sci-fi, and like there's actually a sound you hear throughout the record, like it was at the end of Corrupted Cyborg. It's at the beginning of the next song, but it's inspired by the scream of one of the characters in Raised by Wolves. And actually on that night, Josh and I, like, we watched an episode, and Josh and I both like went and made songs based off that, like, separately. And then Josh had made a bunch of demos that were all kind of in this like space vibe. And so we had like sort of like the bones, and we're like, let's do it. We're nerds. We want to do this. We're going to have a lot of time being inside to think about this and to like conceptualize this concept. And like, there's a lot of, we know it pretty well. We could all pretty much tell you the story and it'd be pretty similar. But like we all know the narrative, you know, from beginning to end in terms of just like what the main events are. And song, like we can, when we play the song, like I can see in my head like what's happening, like yeah, which is cool. And so it did come to be with the intention of it being a concept.
Yeah, and so we hit a lot of references to our favorite sci-fi
okay.
Yeah, teas as well, and music too. I mean, we all love that Devil Wears Prada EP. I mean, both of them, and the Space EP, but that first one especially.
Yeah. So good.
Musically, throughout the album, there's a few references to the Zombie EP specifically. If you can.
Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to pick up on those, because, you know, as an OG Prada fan, if I don't pick them out, I feel like I get my like YouTube card revoked, and I can never interview bands again. So, you know, lot riding on this. I would be disappointed in myself if I couldn't pick them out. So I'll have to actually listen to it. But the chat is going super strong, so love it. Shout out to Low Life.
What's up, Marissa?
There we go, Chester.
Chester's Low Life.
Woo,
Chester
Cheeto. I don't know if I could say that. You know, I can't refer to you. I have to refer to you as Mr. Cheeto. You know. But love it, guys. This one was another one that, again, as you saw, I was very shocked. So let's get into the next one, guys. Also, as well, if you want to pick up Elswear, links in the description. Go pick it up. Go stream it. Go buy some merch. Do all that shit. So down below. But let's get into track 3, guys. This is Abandoned Ship. Okay. All right.
We are under attack. The blood comes rushing back like shells against my lungs. It started out with sticks, and now we're throwing bricks. One day we'll tear it all down.
Ooh, this is cool. Very Linkin Park.
You're playing the demon, but do you believe it? The hate you're fighting for. Feel the corruption, the crowd, they all love it. Don't recognize myself anymore.
All right.
I'm on the edge of losing my war. Goddamn this misery. Hold up, abandoned ship, we going down again. What wasn't there before? There's running and there is strange.
Woo! All right.
You're playing the demon, but do you believe it? The hate you're fighting for. Feel the corruption, the crowd, they all love it. We
Ooh, this is clean. I like this. This section's awesome. All right, this is feeling very breakdown-esque territory. Woo! All right. Oh, nice key change. All right. Okay. Man, Hoosty really just took us home on that one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he
That
did.
was. You didn't have to do it, Hoosty, but you did it. You know, so fucking kudos. But guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 3, Abandoned Ship. This one is probably my favorite thus far. I really enjoyed like the kind of mesh of all the influences you guys kind of draw from. Definitely felt very like Linkin Park inspired, which I absolutely love. Linkin Park's one of my favorite bands, so couldn't be remiss to leave them out. But you kind of, especially in the like chorus, felt very like Chester. You know, this like kind of like the almost like I guess like gritty kind of vocals going on. Definitely reminded me a lot of like what Chester would do. So really appreciated that. And then Hoosty doing his best Mike Shinoda. So absolutely loved that. But this one was a fun one. This, especially considering that the songs thus far have been like well under the 2-minute threshold. This one was nice to have like a little bit more like room to grow. So I definitely appreciate that a lot in this song, but I like the kind of ground you guys were able to kind of carry from the start of the song and then getting into that last chorus, which was really sick. I love when bands do a good like key change. Chef's kiss. That's like the best, that's like one of the best things about a good metalcore track. So I feel like you guys absolutely killed it on this one.
Thank you.
Got to give a little extra to Hoosty though, man. That last verse, I was like, maybe they'll just play us out with like a nice little like cool like guitar riff, like bouncy riff, and the Hoosty's just like, no, we sending this home. So then he just kind of threw it
You
down.
gotta put exclamation point on that thing,
He put about 3 exclamation points on the end of that sentence. So I absolutely loved that. That was really sick. But yeah, overall, I think sonically, I would probably say this one. I think this one thus far, and again, I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I do feel like this one is probably your best representation, like in regards to if I was like to be like, yo, check out Designer Disguise, and then if the other person was like, hey, what song should I check out? I feel like this one would probably be a very good indicator of like you get pretty much like the full gambit of like the more like aggressive stuff that Destroyer brought, and then I also feel like you're able to expound a little bit more like sonically with like the electronics, the vocals, and then I think like even song structure wise, I thought it was just a little bit more fleshed out. Not to say I didn't like Destroyer, because that was I like, anybody who knows the channel knows like I love a good heavy song, but I feel like Abandoned Ship is the best thus far all around song that I could recommend to someone. So definitely enjoy this
yeah.
one.
Man.
But in regards to the demo stages of this song, was it as fleshed out as it was on obviously on Elswear? Where did we kind of start out in regards to like where the song began early on?
So Josh wrote the intro riff, and then like the first verse.
I think
Ooh.
it's one of those that did the verse chorus ones, like,
Yeah.
and then Hoosty wrote that bridge breakdown riff.
Yeah. I basically hit up Jackson and was like, Jackson, I need a cool like EDM break to go in the thing, and then Jackson sent that back, and it was fucking perfect. Like Josh's intro riff just slaps.
It does.
Jackson's bridge just freaking slaps, and then our buddy Ethan, he threw in a couple ideas towards in the final chorus.
Yeah.
Some of the noodly guitar parts, he just kind of shot that out, and it just sounds so good. So.
Wait, you forgot Hoosty's riff fucking slaps.
Yes,
Oh,
Hoosty's
no.
really slaps. Yes, want to shout out the chat too. We did see your I Prevail suggestions, and they're noted in our brain. But they were saying we should cover those because they're like, we're like Baby I Prevail. Thank you.
We like a prevail.
But we do like I Prevail. But yeah, Josh's initial riff I think really was very inspirational because it landed with all of us in a way that made it easy to write like the rest. I love making like trappy beats, and so it was nice to like bring it down to the dum dum dum,
It was
and then
perfect, yeah.
just like let leads like you're like, oh, I feel a breakdown coming on, and like you were right.
I've heard a few metalcore songs in my day, just a few, just a handful, There's usually a pretty good lead up unless there's going to be something that's just like out of the blue. And I feel very much that way with Destroyer, so I'm not going to take the rest of this album very lightly as I was delightfully surprised at what I've heard thus far. But yeah, I feel like you guys kind of, as we talked about in the interview, I feel like you guys kind of like let me loose like a little bit. You're like, yeah, there's a little bit of something for everybody. But I feel like you guys kind of like, you're holding back a little bit. This is really good thus far, and we're only in to the third song. So I mean, I feel like it's a vibe. So if you guys are vibing with this album, I'm just saying the links are in the description. Go pick it up on CD. Because then after that, there might be a vinyl pressing of it, and then like I'll be really stoked because like I need to feed my addiction to buying vinyl still. So Invogue, if
That's
you
a
watch
big goal
this.
for us. It is a big goal.
Yeah, we would love that.
Invogue, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I had these guys on, so like, you know, if you just want to like, you know, if you want to like send me one, that'd be kind of like sick, you know. I don't want to, you know, just a suggestion, you know, so that'd be kind of sick. But yeah, I'm very excited. Also, I have to give a shout out as a tangent to the shirt. That shirt is Chef's Kiss in the merch store. That shirt is so sick. Also, I'm glad that it's not on a black t-shirt because God, I have too many black t-shirts. Just
the yellow pops.
the yellow pops, yeah, exactly. And I don't need another black shirt to add to like my 70 other black shirts that I have, you know. They're all over my room, you know. Basically my whole wall is just like we're all black shirts, and then I painted my walls white to just like, you know, and I just rip one off. No, I don't actually. These are real walls. But yeah, it would be weird if I like just came up, just ripped off the wall.
Yeah.
No, I have to give you guys a shout outs on the merch game because you guys have been, it's on point. You know, as somebody who, you know, looks at some quality merch, I think you guys did a great job. So,
Thank you. Shout out to Kendall Johns. He made that. He
Woo!
did the design.
Kendall, let's go, my man.
Let's go.
The next song, guys, is Lifeline. Well, I don't have to tell you, chat. This is the next song. Track 4, Lifeline. Let's give this bad boy a spin.
Wake up, face pressed in the dirt again. It's hard to stay up when I just end up getting hurt again, cause I'm cheated. Claiming they come to free us, taking a walk down these streets. You see just what it means by the way that they treat us. When they leave us defeated, deceive by the lies that defeat us. Hope we can see to the lies and the we just fall in line and give allegiance. In search of some power.
Oh, I like the vocals in the back. So tight. All right, Jackson, I see you.
It feels like I've been chewed up and spit out, but I never figure it out. I'ma screw up, yeah. No direction and a question. If I only knew what it take to grasp my fate and let it all go.
Oh, all right.
I'm placed up from feeling the ground. This thought I can shake it off. Ooh, the end of the world coming true. I'm placed up from feeling the ground. I just wanna break it off.
Yeah, can't see no light in this tunnel. I'm bound to live amidst darkness, longing to be found. Morning light hits the iris and I miffed. Can't believe I made it through the night. Kinda scary the way I get. Heard a dude at a bar with some news from afar and it kinda blindsided. About a feud in the stars was a fuse to be sparked in my mind. That's when I decided that I know I can't keep living this way. I've been
This is cool. I like this part. The layered vocals.
I believe in a second chance. Offered by a chick at the second hand, and now I see it. Opportunities await to me, it's just what I needed. A newfound purpose, and now it hurts just knowing that I could've let it all go.
I think I can make it. I'm 3 steps from leaving the ground. There's some taking shape in the stars. Ooh, it's not the end, we've been fooled. My feet finally leaving the ground.
Man, he's got such a range. Jackson. All right. I'm expecting like a bunch of flames to come out. That was a cool build up.
In whispers our vision abounds. With dreams I will
All
hear
right,
in the
all right.
stars. Oh, ooh, my past strings behind in review.
This is sick.
A lifeline to see my fate through.
So many layers. That was cool. I like that ending a lot, actually. Guys,
you.
that was track 4. That was Lifeline. If you're just tuning in, you should go back and then like come to this point, or you just stay here and then just rewind it. I don't know. I'm just in the video. You do whatever you want. But I really, this one, as much as I felt like Abandoned Ship was like very much Linkin Park inspired, I feel like this one even more so. Like, I feel like you guys are just like, yeah, we really like Linkin Park. And then you're like, Lifeline, like, we really like Linkin Park, Like, and I don't feel like you guys are, like, stepping on what they do. I think you're taking it in, like, the direction that you guys feel more comfortable with. But it sounded super sick. I like that. The instrumentation, I appreciate that the instrumentation really did not take a lot of the front seat in this song. Not that I don't like it. I think it's great. But I appreciate that the main focal point was just like the vocals. I think this one definitely is like more like Jackson focused. And I do appreciate when bands kind of have that moment where they're like, okay, this song definitely has more of our like, lead vocalist. And then this part also has like our second vocalist in it. And then this part also has our third vocalist in it, and our like tuba player, and our saxophonist. No, I'm just kidding. They don't have any of that. But the first two were correct. But I really feel like I should have just said like the first thing I said and the third thing I said were correct. And then they're like, wait, there was tuba in this? There's tuba in this? Yeah. No, I really like this one a lot. And I think in regards to the way that you guys, at least I think that you have the attention to detail when writing this type of music, is that last like bridge, I guess, like, or outro portion of the song. That must have required so much like time and attention to it, because there was so much like vocal layering going on and like interweaving. And I really enjoyed that, because I think it takes a lot of skill to like just kind of like manage all of those together, but also at the same point for them to all sound as like unique and diverse as they do sound. And I think you guys absolutely killed it on that like last bit. I was like already like sold on this song, but I think you guys like pushed it over the barrier just a little bit more, because I was just like that last bit where it was just like basically just vocals. Like it was very like a cappella-esque, and I was like, they got it. They knew what I liked even before we even hopped on this thing. I am very much a sucker for a good string of harmonies, and I feel like that ending portion was like, we got you, Brandon. We know. So, and Hoosty killed it too. Also, I got to give him a lot of credit as well. I don't know how you fucking do it, man. I like literally am listening here just like dumbfounded by like how well you rap. And that's like, I hope that you did not take that as a diss whatsoever. I just like,
not at all.
I just look at you and I'm like, man, that guy looks like he's like not a rapper. And then you fucking blow my expectations out of the water. Like, it's so crazy. So I gotta give you a lot of props, because I still feel like by the time I'm done with this album, I'm still gonna be like, I don't think Hoosty did this. Like, did he? Like, I don't believe it. Like it's gonna be that wild to me. So, but yeah, I think it's great. I really enjoyed this one a ton. In regards to like the demo process with this one, was there as much layering going on within the track prior to this being released, or did you guys kind of do a lot of like changes in regards to the song?
Wasn't it verse chorus?
This was another like verse chorus demo, and I feel like I remember thinking like, okay, I'm gonna make it so that this song feels boring right now instrumentally, so that
it doesn't feel boring. I just think it kind of like takes a back seat a little bit,
Yeah, no.
It's supportive.
It's
supportive.
supposed to.
Yeah, it gives a lot of space for the vocals to shine. And so I mean, we spent a lot of time on the vocals, and Hoosty helped write some of the chorus and made me push my range.
Yeah. Whew.
And then that last bit, like we were just at, Josh said earlier, but it was like 20 to 30 vocal layers just all
Oh
together,
my god.
like a symphony of vocals, which I, as somebody who did a cappella in my life, am a big fan of.
You're just like, yeah, 20 layers. I think we can do 30 next time. Or 40.
We're just recording it, being like, okay, one more. Yeah, let's
One
do
more?
One more. Yeah.
Do you have an
one more.
idea? Do you have an idea? Oh, another idea? Cool.
All right, just keep throwing it on there. And then by the time
Yeah.
it's over with, like, you know, the recording software is like, please stop. I can't. My processing power is going to get completely shot.
Yeah, my computer hated me.
Yeah,
was
I don't
bouncing
blame
shit
it.
down, like, losing track.
I'd probably feel the same way. My computer would just be like smoking, you know, like please stop. There's like 50 vocal tracks on this. We get it, you know. There's like
you guys like vocals.
you guys are sick with the vocals, but like, you know, 50
Chill.
layers. Chill, man. No, I think the craziest thing about this album thus far is honestly really the attention to detail. Like I think that I didn't really have too much expectation going into this, just because I had listened to Stardust and I was like, I like this a lot. But I think you have absolutely subverted my expectations on the album. I feel like Stardust was like just like a taste. It didn't really tickle me in the way that I was like, yeah, I'm like, I should give this a listen. And then I had you guys on and I was just like, I love these guys. These guys are cool. And then I was like, I should give this a listen. And then now I'm listening to it with you guys for the first time, and it is such an experience. Like, I think, you know, you even from track 1 till now, like, you can hear such of a variation thus far, and we still have like 6 more songs to go, you know. So I really did feel like you, and not to like again poke fun at the interview, but I really feel like you guys just kind of like really subverted my expectations for how this album is gonna go, because thus far I've really enjoyed it, and I hope that people give this one a listen. If they're not in the live chat, I hope that they come back and watch this, because this is a wild ride, and I have to say, like, I'm hoping for like just a really dumb stupid heavy track like Destroyer again, like later on in the album, and I have a feeling there's probably gonna be one, because I can hear Hoosty laughing. I can see him laughing in the corner over there, so I'm like, all right, so we're gonna get something disrespectful, and I like that. So but yeah, I liked Lifeline a lot. I think this one, to me, I'd imagine this one's gonna be kind of like the underrated, like, sleeper song of the album. Like, I think people like this song from what I could gather, but I also feel like this might be like some people's like, I like this one. This one kind of is like the dark horse, you know, the dark horse of the album. You know, it's a little different, it's a little slower, but I think you guys make it work. So I absolutely like this one a lot. Do you guys feel like, in terms of the songs and obviously having the album out, like, what is the consensus like within most of the fans in regards to, like, you know, what song is doing the best? Like, and obviously Marissa can let us know in the chat as well what her favorites are. But
it's hard to say, because we did a release campaign over a year, and
sure,
like,
yeah,
some songs have been out a lot longer than others. But you were spot on when you said Lifeline's like the dark horse, because it has like the least amount of streams. Not since we've released the album. But it's been out for half a year, and it has had the least out of all the singles. But I've heard from a lot of people that it's their favorite one. So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
It feels like a sleeper. I mean, it's one of my favorite songs. Like, when I listen to it without thinking about reception of it, I'm like,
yeah,
this song is incredible. Like the way it, you know, makes you feel. It evokes a lot, and then that last bit where you're like, all the vocal layers, it gets my heartstrings for sure.
Oh, 100%. You know, I do feel like if I was just like listening to this by myself, I'd probably be like, just like, just crying, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely got me to tear up once or twice.
And I think that's important. Like, I think there's a necessary like level to like albums and having that sort of emotion, you know, like you put a lot of heart and effort into it. And I think like whether it's like the song's emotional or if like, you know, this has a lot of sentimental value to you, then like absolutely do it. You know, I've been known to I have cried twice here on YouTube, so I feel like, you know, people can go dig for that somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where. You're going to have to just find out which live album stream I did, and I was bawling my eyes out. So, yeah. So, if anything, you know, I know how emotive music can be, and so I definitely feel like this one could at any point hit me in that feel. So, I'm going to have to go back and listen to this one and then just, like, send you guys, like, a Facebook message of me just crying.
Please do.
Okay, great. I'll make sure to do that later tonight. But I do really like this one a lot. And obviously by when we finish listening to this album, I will break down my top 5 favorite songs off the album. So I'll give you my picks. You know, the Brandon's picks. Marissa said all of them. Stardust and Infinite are amazing, but she said Destroyer is my favorite Hoosty track.
The Hoosty track.
Hoosty.
Hoosty.
All right. Well, I'm curious if Hoosty's just gonna break out the flow, you know, on one of these later tracks. I just want to see him just go hard. You know, I feel like there's moments we've gotten where you're just gonna like. I just want to see him like, you know, broccoli it. I want to see him take off all of the fucking weights on his arms and legs and just like crush someone. Any of my Naruto fans would get that. So.
Okay. Okay. Like,
Hoosty
I
didn't
don't know
get
about Brock.
Not Brock from Pokemon. As much as I like to give that a shout, obviously, but yeah, no, broccoli. I'll have to find the clip and I'll send you guys a clip later. But we're gonna move it on to the midway point of this album. Is every day is a new nightmare, but it all feels the same. So let's give this special song a listen. This does feel very nightmarish. Okay.
But it all feels the same. Losing track, going nowhere. Traded a number for my name. Running in circles. We're running away from our fate. It is what surrounds us. It is this conscious plane. The things we want to run from are those we can't escape. A dream we won't wake up from. A truth I cannot take.
Ooh, a nice little falsetto there. All right.
This life is a series of catch-22s. There's never a right answer. It don't matter what I choose. Forever taking chances. I feel like I'm gonna lose and stop.
This has got a great hook to it.
Will I ever be?
All right. Wow.
After every night
That's
is a
cool.
nightmare, yeah. Hard to tell what is strange. Wake up and rise, ripping my eyes, and the surprise came to find that the both one and the same, yeah. And this stuff doesn't
All right,
make me try to
Lucy.
play
All right.
fair. I'm sick of playing this game. There's losing my mind, cause I'm trying to losing the wine, but this time I don't think I can get away. Yeah, I don't think I'll leave, I'ma stand up, trying to shed some light on my direction. Yeah, the difference between dreams and this life I'm living is creation and perception. Trying to choose the both the feet in my mind, I'm alright, but I'm not too sure that I can make it down this road alone. Will I ever be?
that high register. Holy shit. What was that? What was that, Jackson?
That's my sister actually on that part.
What? Oh my god.
We have similar voices though, so sometimes people think it's me.
She really hitting them notes. God. Wow. Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is sick. What?
Obscene themes, my dreams seem to be seen doing violence at these fiends seem to be scenes when I'm dialed in. Reimagining the night, cause that I don't get it practicing. Y'all gonna learn to fear me if you can hear me. It's better not to be near me. Future be looking so
What the fuck? Holy shit. I was not expecting this. What? Oh my god. What the fuck, man? That was so wild. Oh, that was awesome. What the hell? Guys, that was every day is a new nightmare, but it all feels the same. That's how I feel all the time. Just kidding. No, this was wow. This one was definitely wow. This is way out there. Like again, that like kind of like hard style beat at the end was so sick. Was again, I feel like you guys hit me with the surprises, and I don't like. I can't like my brain can't function what's going on. I don't know if you saw like the mini meltdown I was having like as I was listening to this song, but that's how I felt. I was like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like in like the best way possible, because I can't whatever I feel like you guys are going to do, you don't do, which is great because if anything, this is like very very much like cut this up, throw it on TikTok, and everybody will be like, what the fuck? But yeah, this one was wildly out there, but feels very, designer disguise, like in every way, shape, or form. And I like how this one had more of an electronic focus, and then just, you really hit them hard with like the chorus with like, some really just nicely distorted guitars and just like a very like, I don't want to say it's basic, but like just a very straightforward sort of drum beat. And you let like mostly like kind of the verses and the bridge do a lot of the talking, which was really cool. It definitely gave me some like I See Stars, like probably like first EP, first album, like Issues kind of vibe, but like if they were like way harder, like I'm saying, like if this was like those two bands maybe mixed with like a really good like hard style like EDM artist, I feel like that's kind of like those were kind of the barometer that I have. Obviously, I don't who were you guys influenced by specifically, I guess, for the like electronic instrumentals on this song, because I have to check them out. Was there any bands that you were listening to that kind of influenced this musical styling for this song?
Well, the end bit, like the big, like trap, like bomb, bomb, bomb.
Yeah.
Influenced by Skrillex.
Oh,
if you listen
nice.
to his remix of "Humble" by Kendrick Lamar specifically, I was very inspired by that. And then the initial like just sort of weird wavy electronics was honestly more inspired by the TV show Raised by Wolves than it was by like another artist. Like I just kind of went and did what I wanted to do. And I had this big like electronic chorus, and they helped me translate that into the guitars and drums, and I wanted to keep it, sort of simple, because I feel like it was more of a vibe than it was like an instrumental like virtuosic like show off thing. Not that that's all show off stuff, but like it was more about like the sum of its parts
Sure,
rather
sure.
than each thing going off. And yeah, I mean, Skrillex's music is really freaking awesome. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's just like the most famous guy, not cool. Like his sound design, everything is like from top to bottom, like perfect. If you can't tell, I like him.
Couldn't, no,
but
not
also,
any.
I also like Dylan Francis a lot.
Oh yeah,
I make,
okay,
I make a lot of electronic music,
that checks.
and it was cool because this is one that came like electronics first, and then the band came on, and like the ones before it was like band-ish with electronics as well, but then the other things came later. And so this was sort of one we all, when we put it on the album, we're like, this is different, this is out
Yeah,
there.
whew. You
But
weren't
we
kidding.
wanted to include that because it at the end is like actually like a battle. It's supposed to be like in the story is like the guys are flying away from the planet, and then the bad guys show up and just start like slaughtering all their homies. And so like it's
I could see that.
way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like if you think about the drum hits, boom, boom, as cannons firing, that's what they're supposed to be. And
Someone
then the
should make
rapping,
it in like Unreal Engine 5 or something. You know.
oh yeah,
Just
or
saying.
do an AMV.
Yes.
I'll take an AMV with some explosions or
Let's
like
go.
Gundams. Good
That'd be
Gundam
sick.
AMV to that.
Let's go. Somebody
but
can do that.
I like, yeah, it's a lot of fun to get to do both stylings, like where I'm writing to, you know, Josh's awesome fucking riffs and getting to do like some like growly Chester shit, but then also sort of get to do, you know, like a poppy thing over,
Yeah.
not poppy artist, but a pop-esque thing over the electronics.
Yeah, I think it makes it interesting, you know, from your perspective. Josh, I'll let you go as well. But I do feel like, I feel like for me, it's cool to see that both Jackson and Josh have this attention to detail when writing, like, and I can appreciate that, being literally halfway through this album and being absolutely elated by some of the songs that have been written. Very excited to get into this latter half of the album, but it's crazy how seamlessly the sounds work, because like on paper you're like, okay, how are we going to put like, how are we going to sprinkle deathcore in here? How are we going to sprinkle in some metalcore? Okay, so we have some cool like EDM beat. How are we going to do that? And then we have Hoosty rapping on this track. Like, how are we going to throw him in? And like Jackson's going to be singing. How do we put him in? And there's a lot of moving parts, and very easily I think a band could be like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're just going to like throw it in the blender, hit blend, and we're just going to see what comes out. But I think because you guys are so meticulous in the writing process and how you kind of go about putting the songs together, there's just this level to detail that I think has impressed me a lot, because I'm like, man, how can you go from like a really cool like EDM part of the song and then hit you with like a really cool like almost like rock like metal sort of vibe in the chorus, and then go back to like, you know, an EDM part, and then hit you with like this real cool like hard style kind of like EDM beat part closer to the end of the song. And that could be said about any of the songs on the album as well. It just, the level of how you guys methodically put all of those together is kind of, wow, geez. The level of detail of how you guys put all of those together was incredible. So again, very excited to get into the other half of this, but I'll let Josh speak because I, you know, conveniently cut him off. So I apologize, Josh.
It's all good. I just wanted to say, because a lot of the songs that we write are like, Houston and I will write like a metal riff. Usually me, I'll just like make a metal demo, and then it's like, okay, this is what I have in mind for like the vocals over it. This is gonna be a breakdown with some screams or whatever. And this time it was cool to get Jackson to be like, hey, I just want this chord and then this chord, and then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do this and trust the vision,
Trust the process.
and,
Yeah.
and it was sick.
I do feel like it came out super well, despite like on paper you're like, how are they just gonna have this like crazy like EDM beat riff kind of thing going on, and then hit you with like a cool like rock like metal thing in the chorus, and then just hit you with another cool like EDM part, and then completely subvert your expectations. So I'm glad you guys are on here, because I think if I was doing this by myself, like live streaming it, I would have been like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I don't get it. You know? So I feel like you guys are putting in way more perspective for me, because like I could listen to these songs and be like, this is wild. Like the process of how you guys arrange this. And I think it gives me more appreciation for how Elswear has been put together, because very easily something could have been like off, and that could have like completely changed the trajectory of how the album goes. But I think thus far, being halfway through it, I can say confidently that this is a very wild ride, and I hope that other people give this one a spin, because I'm having a great time. So, you know, we still have like 5 songs to go. So I mean, you know, listen, we're halfway. We're like at the top of the roller coaster now, and I'm just waiting to just get like dropped off. You know, so you guys all chuckled, so that's not good. I'm not ready for this. I want to get off, Mom and Dad, please. No, I'm just kidding. I'm.
No, you just gotta no hands it.
No hands.
Okay, I'm just gonna no hand. Well, I have to actually go to the next song, but after that I'll no hands it. But in regards to this being like halfway through the album, and obviously with the album being out, like, you know, I have to ask, like, were people kind of, I don't want to say taken aback, but were people surprised at the level of detail that you guys put into these songs? Because I imagine, prior to this, what was your release before this one? How long in terms of like a year gap?
Was it like a year?
Oh, it was a year. Oh, okay.
It was like 2.
We've released music in every single year, though.
Oh, yeah. I guess from the album it was 2, but from the first single it was about a year.
But when did Good People come out?
That was like spring.
2021. I don't even know. I don't know. It's been a while, but I do think that people, like the people who are giving it real listens, are like, this is a roller coaster and this is awesome.
Okay, so I'm glad I'm on the same page then.
Oh well, there's a podcast coming out soon that we got a sneak peek listen of, and the people on it are like, wow, they really went to all corners of the galaxy on this one.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, like I said, we're halfway through it, and I'm very stoked. I hope again, everybody, check the links below. Go pick up Elswear, and go buy that poster so you can tell other people that that's a Star Wars. You can tell your kids I have Star Wars at home, and then just show them that poster. But the next song, guys, is track 6. This one's Risen. So let's give this one a spin. Okay. This rhythm's so weird, but I like it. It's so off.
Listen up. This is the beginning of a new
All right.
era. An era
I am listening, Lucy. Thank you.
Remove restraint. Weapons live. Bullets for every wife and child. Mercy is what they're lost. Yeah. That witness me till their mother does. Yeah. Until their pleasure they don't get it when your throat is crushed. Yeah. We can kill everyone. We can kill everyone.
Oh wait, I have to put my hands up. Oh, I like that call and response. Sorry. All right, a little blast beat action. Man, you guys are. What the fuck's going on here?
Blinded by rage, I'm a like in the cage. Yeah, defiance in the face of a giant.
Oh my god, what? Oh my god, what the fuck? Guys, that was track 6. That was Risen. I gotta say, Josh is the riff machine, cause God, that's groovy as fuck. I really enjoyed that one. That intro fucked me up so bad because I think the rhythm, I don't know if this was intentional or not. I imagine it was, but like it is off just a little bit. There's like this syncopatedness that I'm like, I was like, wait, so the drums are a little bit ahead of the guitar. I think if I'm remembering the phrasing, it feels like the guitar is like a slight bit like behind the drums. Am I fair to say on that or no?
So the song is in 5/8.
Yeah, okay.
I actually can't take credit for the riff. I had the idea for the direction of this song, but Chris, our drummer, actually came up with that rhythm.
What?
And then our friend Ethan, who we had play bass on the whole album, actually wrote that riff. And
Oh,
actually just
man.
all the guitar on that song. And the inspiration for it being in 5/8 is because this is kind of the bad guys like main theme thing.
Okay.
The concept was kind of a mix of the Imperial March kind of from Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mixed with the Isengard theme in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, nice. Okay.
As a metal song. And the main thing about that, like, you know the score from Lord of the Rings. There's like there's like this like dun, 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 in the
the hits, yeah.
Theme with like the horns. So I wanted to do, and it's kind of off-putting because it's an odd time signature, and that's why it makes it so like evil sounding.
It was sick.
So for this song, I was like, okay, we need to do the odd time signature. It's a metal song, and Chris obliged with the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Like the cymbals are like straight. You can feel the cymbals in 4. Like that's kind of the guiding light, at least for me, the crash, because it feels like 1, 2, 3, 4 over the 5. So I guess, is that a polyrhythm? I don't know.
I think you're right. It would be a polyrhythm, yeah.
It's like it's just sort of like this weird, this disjointed feeling, which makes it more evil.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know how you guys are gonna play this one live. I think my head would hurt.
We've done it once.
We did it once.
We did it. It was fun.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's not a great song. I'd be like, man, I would be dreading this song if I was, because I was like, this is definitely not in 4/4. I could definitely feel it was, but I couldn't tell if it was like disjointed or if it was in a different time signature. So I feel like I was kind of on it, but not at the same time. But this one touched the prog soul in my life. So I really enjoyed that. Shouts to Ethan. I also really enjoyed the kind of like more like chanty sort of stuff. I thought that was really interesting. I imagine like lyrically it plays a lot into the whole like concept storyline, and kind of like, if I had to guess, it's very kind of like a rebellious, like we're taking a stand kind of shit. But this one was very different, and especially after Every Day is a New Nightmare, I'm like, this next song could just be just a bunch of blast beats and just a bunch of growls, and like I'll be like, what is this? But I really enjoyed this one. This one is a nice change up, and I think especially being a little bit past the midway point in the album, sometimes bands, from what I've determined, like that could be the part where bands lose steam, but I feel like this one definitely roped me back in, and I was like, what is going on here? Like this beginning part, why would you do this to yourself? And then I'm also like, this is really sick, so keep doing that thing. But like, but yeah, it was very cool. I think the whole like instrumental of this song really took a precedence in this track. But yeah, I like that breakdown was super nice. Also, shout outs to Chris on the drums because I saw him sneak in a little blast beat action there, so I can't can't knock him for that. That was absolutely sick. And again, I think I give a lot of credit to drummers because God, I play guitar and there's no fucking way I could do like both the hands and feet at different times. I'm not very good at that shit, so gotta give all the credit to them. But this one, definitely, I would say probably similarly to Lifeline, I would say this one is definitely an odd one out, but not in a bad way. I think it just I feel like people would either really like it and gravitate towards it because it's so different, or they might be like, I don't know about this one. Like this one might be not my favorite one, but I'm curious on. People will have to let me know in the live chat or also in the comments if that's how they felt about this one. But I thought it was nice. It was a nice change of pace. I don't know if it'd be one of my favorites because again, we haven't finished listening to the entire album, but I thought this one was a little bit of a different change of pace. So I really enjoyed that. But lyrically, where did this one kind of where are we leaving off story-wise right now?
So this one is after like the chaos and every day after the big battle. It's basically like a victory pep talk from like the bad guy to his like, mass amount of soldiers. And there was some imagery we borrowed from Star Wars. You know the one.
Is it It's the Force Awakens, right?
Force Awakens,
Yeah.
but also Return of the Jedi. It's when there's just ranks of stormtroopers.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi, it's when the Emperor comes to the command ship, that to talk to them about building this Death Star better. But it's also in Force Awakens when the nerd guy is like on what is that planet called? It's the planet that is like whatever Death Star machine. Star Killer base. Yeah. And they're shooting off. They're doing the first shoot off. Blow up all the planets, and they're like standing there.
Okay, yeah.
Very fascistic.
The two towers, Lord of the Rings, two towers. Like when Saruman's like, "Here's my whole army." Like, with what army? This army.
This army.
This army.
And he's like, "Go fuck up Helm's Deep," and they're like, "Yes."
So yeah, the inspiration for this song was like these visual scenes from movies. And I think Josh was basically like, I want this song to feel like the big bad guy addressing his massive armies and getting them all pumped up, and that's the rise,
yeah.
Because
they also just had their victory at the end of every day in that big blow up part. Like they did just fuck up the good guys real bad. So they're like, we just killed hollow people. We're gonna go do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that. God, that's not a good look for me. Oh well. No, this is really cool. I think I'm curious if very similarly to Prada, would you guys ever release like a visual like novel or like a comic book of like that would entail kind of the storyline of Elswear? Is that in the cards at some point? Because I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, we're part way there. We have the music videos for Abandoned Ship and Lifeline and Stardust
And Destroyer.
And Destroyer. Destroyer's a little more silly, but but we that's how we've been able to visually tell it. But if we had infinite money, there would be comic books. There would be We're hoping for a movie adaptation one day, but we'll see about that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's Steven Spielberg. I know you watch my stuff, so I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to help them out, that'd be a real homie move. Christopher Nolan. I know you also watch my stuff as well, so if you want to help out with the score, that'd be kind of cool too. So I don't want to say anything, but it's there. It's there for the taking. So,
Yeah, hey, this guy already wrote the screenplay, so like, come on.
Yeah. They've got it. We'll be signing that deal in no time. In terms of the song itself, did this one, as you mentioned, I know you said that had some help with Ethan and Chris, but how did this one kind of come to be beyond that?
I mean,
That was it, basically. I was just like, this is the bad guy song. That feels evil. And then we sat down with Ethan and we're like, all right, let's make this into a song. And we just kind of busted it all out. It was like he's kind of jamming riffs over the drum beats that Chris sent. And it's like, that's sick. Okay, that's sick. And then we just put it together, and it came together pretty fast, actually.
rearranged it, and then like for the breakdown, Josh and I were like, what do we do? And we were like, what if we just like make it just like just like right in your face,
With
and
a
then
brie.
with a brie, and they're like, Hoosty, just do something disgusting, and he was like, okay. And there you go.
Well, it all came together great, so I definitely enjoyed that one a lot. But even more so, we're going to enjoy the next track, which is track 7, guys. Digital Ghost. I do want to preface, if you've been enjoying this, check the links below. Go pick up the album. It's great thus far. We still have 3 more songs to go. Actually, yeah, we have 3 more songs to go beyond Digital Ghost. So let's go pick it up. Go stream it a ton. Do the thing. So let's get into the next one, guys. This one is Digital Ghost.
I'm lost in the sickness. I stand as a witness. Feels like I'm spinning out of control. The words, they were written. I made a decision to take it back. I paid a toll. We answered the call. The empire falls. Our walking masses follow me. From ashes we rise.
Nice.
Designed in disguise. And when I talk, you'll be set free. The system has nailed us to crosses we raise.
Ooh, some
up.
nice
The
cleans.
shadows we cast, we cannot see. We wait in the darkness for power to harness. You read the words the same as me.
Ooh.
What are we fighting for? This all seems endless.
All right, a little bit of shred in there. Okay.
And when the cracks begin to show, my mind defenseless.
Oh, all right. Nice rhythm change.
In defiance, their humanity dissolves. Again, we march when words
Cool
fail
drumming
to
part.
bring
I like this.
resolve. Only the dead will see the end of this war brought upon us all. We use the promise of peace to justify disease, and
Ooh.
even when it's achieved,
All
we
right.
still never cease from preparing for a war. And if we're killing is right, of what they think is right, and with the motives alike, how we ever know?
Like the phrasing on this. So sick.
What are we fighting for? This all seems endless. And when the cracks begin to show, my mind defenseless.
Oh, this is sick. Like some vocoder vocals. This is really cool. I like this.
I'll be the one to make it all.
All right, yeah. Little guitar solo action. All right. All right, whoever's throwing this shred out, insane. All right.
And when the cracks begin to show, my mind defenseless. I'm lost in the sickness. I stand as a witness. Feels like I'm spinning out of control. The words they were written, I made a decision.
All right, guys, that was track 7, Digital Ghost. I think this one's my favorite. This one's gonna be a very hard one to beat for me. I think you guys knocked it out of the park on this one.
Thanks.
The guitar solo just sent me. That was like, I was just like, whoever did the guitar solo, I'm pretty sure it's Josh, if I had to guess.
Nope.
No.
No?
I got my friend Neil to do a guest solo.
Oh, Neil, big salutes.
As you heard, he fucking shreds.
He does.
Like,
Woo! Is Neil in a
Hoosty's
band?
been doing it live though.
Hoosty's been doing? Oh, Hoosty. I gotta give you
It's
kudos,
a
man.
bitch, dude. It's a bitch.
You can see
I'm
Hoosty's
sure it
sweating.
is.
Yeah.
I wrote the lead in the like in the chorus. There's those little leads that come in. I wrote those. And,
That was sick.
Immediately forgot how to play them, so Hoosty plays those too.
Artistry.
Hoosty, the MVP, man. Good, let's go.
Surely.
I love the Hoost.
Is Neil in a band? Because if he's not, he should be in a band now.
He's not.
What the hell, Neil? Okay, now this is gonna be my time to talk to Neil. Okay, Neil, I don't know if you're gonna watch this, but I'm gonna look directly into the camera here and tell you, I think you should be in a musical project. I'm just saying, I don't make the rules, but I really feel like if you can shred like that, I mean, you should be in a band. Okay, you can't just leave these skills tapped up. All right, do it up. Be in a band. I know it's a monetary sinkhole, but just do it. It'll be worth it. So that was my you can clip that and send that to Neil. But this one was great. I think musically, this is what sold me. I think the way that you guys were able to create such a cool like melody, but also at the same time, I think everything felt very like, especially after like Risen, and I really enjoyed that one, but that was a little bit like outside of the wheelhouse, at least for me personally. This one definitely is like, I get it. Like this one made a lot more sense. Like rhythmically, it was really interesting. I liked in that second verse, we got a little bit of bass riffage, that was kind of tight. I like that. And just like the melodies in this song were really infectious. And I love that again, I imagine, Josh, there was a ton of vocal layering going on in Digital Ghost, but I absolutely love that kind of like almost vocal wall of sound almost. It just really worked out super well. And I gotta say, this one's gonna be the hard one to beat for me. I think if either Infinite or In the Hollow don't win out, I think that Digital Ghost is probably gonna be my favorite. But we'll
Right
find
on.
out.
Love to
We're
hear
still 2 songs out, so I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. But I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think just like, again, if I had to kind of, I guess this one is maybe a little bit less out of the wheelhouse of like if I'm trying to like share Designer Disguise with someone else. I think this one would be one that I would say is my personal favorite, because it kind of keeps more to the like. I get there's a lot of like different flair going on in it, but also it has that very like good like memorability to it. Like it has like the hooks, it has the kind of like cool melodies going on in it. Neil shreds, like it checks all of the like metaphorical boxes for me that I really enjoy about a good heavy song. So I would say Digital Ghost is my favorite. But in regards to putting this one together, did this require a lot of revisions? Because it doesn't feel like it felt pretty straightforward in regards to the writing process, other than maybe like the bridge. I feel like that one deserves its own time in the sun.
Yeah, I think songwriting wise, it was pretty easy. Mixing wise, I think it was one of the hardest songs to mix just because of the amount of vocal set that's happening. There's like vocals on top of vocals on the side there's vocals. It's everywhere. And
Millions of
because there's one of the most important vocal like patterns that happens throughout the album is in that little break in the middle. There's like this choir type thing.
Yes.
That is they who will hold the flame in their soul will be the one to make it all whole.
the prophecy.
Which is the prophecy that's in the story. And that it's like sprinkled throughout this song and also in other songs in the album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so there's this like choir of backing vocals happening behind like choruses, and it was just a lot of mixed.
I think we were thinking like oracles,
Yeah.
like saying this prophecy,
Yeah,
and so yeah, that was the idea behind it.
because the whole story is that they're searching for the flame, and they who hold the flame capitalized in their soul, as well as like it can be just metaphorically the flame, but the fabled flame is the thing that they are on the search for this entire time. And so that was like one of the first things in writing the album that Josh was like, we have to have a prophecy. If we don't have a prophecy, what the fuck are we doing?
I appreciate it,
and we
Josh.
thought
The
about
attention to detail.
we thought about it for a long time. Yeah, no, and we really like thought about it. And what was cool is like, there's like a bajillions of me in that choir. There's Hoosties. There's an Ethan. Did we get a Chris? No Chris. No Chris.
Josh,
Aw.
No, me.
Or Josh. But there's a few of us. Did we get an Adrian?
There's 16 tracks of Jackson, 16 tracks of Hoosty, and 8 tracks of Ethan.
Oh yeah. That's 30. That's 40 tracks, y'all.
Yo, that's 40 tracks, y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, but it does sound like a vocoder because there's so many.
I was like, this is either vocoded or I should have went with my gut and been like, this is another bunch of vocal layers on top of each other. But I didn't.
That.
Yeah. But in the choruses, I think with the choir, with the prophecy and the other vocals, there's probably like 70 or 80 vocal tracks going at the same time.
What? Your computer would have been the flame. I feel like that's what
yes,
Oh yeah.
we're all
It had to be in different sessions just for the vocals.
you're all huddling around Josh's computer like, oh yeah, this is great. I love the fire.
So warm.
Then Josh goes out and he has to get another computer. To then put the 70 tracks onto that vocal section.
I really on the computer.
But oh my god, that's really cool. It does, like I said, it does give off the essence of a vocoder, but again, I should have the intuition should have clicked off and been like, this is like, 100. This is 100% like vocal layers. We just have like. We have people from outside screaming the lyrics. We have people in other countries singing the lyrics. We have them in different languages, whatever. I don't. You guys could have said whatever, and I would have been like, "Yeah, you did it." No, this one was really good. I think this one again is probably my favorite. I'll also give a shout out because I think musically, you guys kind of remind me a lot of my homies that have been on the channel here for many years. The Wise Man Fear. You guys kind of, in terms of like the lore aspect of things, they both also have like a lot of albums where they go in depth in terms of lore, which again isn't my strong suit. I just like when, you know, vocalists go brie and like, you know, hit me with the like the beautiful vocals. I am not into the depths that some people are, but I would definitely definitely recommend you guys go check out that band as well. And then, you know, if you guys want to like tour together, that'd be kind of sick. You know, Invogue, I just want to say, if these guys toured together, you know, that'd be kind of lit. You know, I'm just saying, you know, I don't know what type of bags, you know, what type of bag I have to provide to you to make that happen. But like, I could give you like, you know, the $5 in my wallet. That's a start, you know. So, you know, there we go. I don't spend it all in one place. But yeah, so that'd be very sick. I feel like if I had to give him a shout, and then also for people who like the Wise Man Fears, you should check out this band too, because they're fucking sick. So definitely like this. Marissa says that I need to get the Kleenex out for Infinite. So if that's any indication of this next song, we're going to move into track 8, which is Infinite. So let me get my cry on now. All right, let's go. All right, I'm sobbing already. I just start crying immediately. First note. We love a good piano, just piano.
The nightmares replay.
Oh, excuse me.
I can still feel the pain. Trauma I can't escape. When I'm asleep, when I'm awake. Oh, I
Jackson's
wish
giving
I
us
could
very like
smile.
musical theater vibes here,
Bring
and I
some
love it.
grace
I'm here
to
for it.
my time, but I just keep on failing, and the end seems all but right. Overwhelming, feel my soul run empty. No place for a heart in a world without love.
All right.
Learned responses, memories that haunt me, a product of pain. I'll never be the same. We live inside a broken cycle, pulling threads in my mind. Can't take this over and over. And when I die, will there be closure or just loose ends in my worst nightmare, playing over and over again? How many dreams left to say? Can you still feel the fate? Is the world getting colder when you're away, so far away?
Hoostie's got such a great voice. I didn't know he had, you know, such angelic cleans like this. This is great.
Starting to break. I'm hoping that you're still out there.
You sing this live, right, Hoostie?
As my
That's just like this.
lifeline slowly fades. Overwhelming, feel my soul run empty. No place for a heart in a world without love.
All right.
I hear you calling when you're not beside me, a product of pain. I'll never be the same.
All right.
Be the same. We live inside
All right.
a broken cycle, pulling threads
So good. Oh my God. All right. You really had to hit us with the ballad. All right. Oh, wait. This was sick. All right. Again, subverting the expectation. This is... Oh my God, that was great. Guys, if you're just tuning in, that was track 8. That was Infinite off of Designer Disguise's new album, Elswear. It's everywhere. No pun intended. Check the links below. Go give it some listens. Go give it some spins. And then, you know, if you're here... You just stick around and we'll go through the entire, we have like the next couple tracks to go, and then what you do is then you hit rewind and we you know, you just go back and then you run it back, you know. So but man, this one was really good. I was like, okay, this is gonna be like a real ballady sort of track. And I was correct up until when you guys just hit me with like the absolute like just like ultimate move of hitting me with like just a ripping guitar solo, and then everything kind of came rushing in. It felt very cinematic, and I really enjoyed that, as again watching a ton of you know, movies, and you know, I feel like you guys really kind of like took all of that like motif in like a movie and just, you know, like I could just imagine just like some really like slow running going on, and there's a bunch of explosions going on in the background, and then, you know, there's so many like movie moments that I can think of while I was listening to the song that I'm just like, this would hit, you know, if I saw that, just some like slow motion running with some like explosions, and then like somebody like jumping, you know, that's what I imagine, you know, something like that, or like some explosions going off, you know, that's like some ship exploding and you're just like the like ships flying away, you know, just like those. It's crazy how like musically you think about those things and kind of like counterpoint it with like a movie, like, because those are really like the kind of the things that I was thinking about while listening to the song and listening through this album, is just like those little moments movie wise, and how you guys essentially connect the dots between like watching a movie and then listening to this album. Like there's something about it that has, again, and I know that you guys had mentioned it before, but it has this very cinematic appeal to it, because it's almost as if like you're thinking about how this story is going to go, and like the way that the kind of lyricism and the way that the songs are written, what would play out in the like quote unquote Designer Disguise movie, you know. And I appreciate that, because there's a lot of attention to detail, as I have said multiple times, but it cares to mention more so on this track, because it was great. Also, Jackson, you killed it. Really loved the vocals on that. And then Hoosty, who knew you had such a vocal range, you know? God, you're really killing it tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, MVP.
They're really holding me back, you know.
Yeah, I know. They really just let you loose on this track, and I appreciate that, you know. I imagine this your sister
Brittany
again.
Rogers. Not my sister, actually. She did it with us live, and she smashed it. She's freaking amazing. But our friend Brittany Rogers killed that. She does music. Look her up.
Brittany, come on the show, please. That'd be sick. But yes, shout out to Brittany because I felt like your vocals definitely felt like musical, like theater esque. You know, it had that sort of like Broadway kind of like, oh, I can't do it because I'm not a Broadway singer. And I'm not, you know, I'm very much like a borderline okay singer. You know, I'll sing in the shower. That's like the vibes or at, but like take me anywhere else. No, it's not good. But yeah, I really appreciated that, and then it wasn't until Brittany came in and the kind of like the harmonies, man, that was just so good. So I really enjoyed it, and I was a little bit curious on how the song was gonna go because this is the longest song on the album, and I'm like, I always get a little worried because when I see like, you know, a band that does a lot and they do like a longer song, it's like, are they gonna do it? Like, what are they gonna do for 5 minutes? You know? And I gotta say, it. I didn't feel like I like looked at the time. I was like, man, the song's over with already. That's crazy. You know, like it really worked. And this one is another surpriser. I think you guys have hit me with a couple different tracks that I was like a little like, you know, I had a little reservations about, but this one definitely, I think out of the ones that kind of shocked me the most, I think this one is easily has the highest shock value because you're just like, oh yeah, this is a nice like piano ballad. And then they get like towards the end of the song and you're like, okay, we're going to get hit with like some like shred, you know, we get this like absolutely wicked guitar solo. And then we have like all the instrumentation come in and just, you know, it really kind of ties the whole song together. So, I gotta say this was a good one, but I have to know, guys, how was writing this one? Because I imagined this one must have been a very high task at hand, and I have to guess, would this be one of the last songs you guys had wrote before the album came out?
It was pretty middle.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a multi-step process for this one because
With the duet.
Sure,
there's the duet and there's also the piano, which
Yes.
I wrote a very basic version with like the melody and some chords, and then I got our friend Will, an actual an actual real good pianist.
Oh, he was
like,
wicked. Shouts to Will.
Here's the skeleton of this song. Please like embellish it with actual piano units.
Mm-hmm.
He killed it. Oh my god, big salutes.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, it was difficult, not difficult like hard to write, but difficult like writing that stuff. Like my part is extremely vulnerable, and even just hearing it now, it's my heart hard, and because it's like
Yeah.
very real, and like singing it and hearing it, it definitely like awakens those feelings. But it was also fun to help and write with Brittany on her parts and help her come into the space and like feel good in it and like figure out how we were going to mesh together and who was going to take what parts. And then like in the bridge, there's like that like bridge layer part just kind of like happened in the studio. I was like, do one, let me do another one. I was like, ooh, and it's just like I am a musical theater choir a cappella person.
Ah,
You
so
can't
then,
tell.
yes.
Yeah, it all comes naturally. And so like it was a lot of fun to write, and then it was really exciting to have it, you know, go from ballad to power ballad and to hear that pay off in the end, because like that part came closer to the end of the writing of the song, because first we had to get the song
Yeah.
done really, and then it was like, okay, then the instrumentation got added in. And I love in Josh's solo how it's like it quotes the
Motif.
the melody of the chorus. Meow, meow, meow. Just a classic power ballad thing of like bringing you into that same idea that you have in the vocals and then going off in its own direction and then coming back into the chorus. Just like it really does, like it is 5 minutes, and I think what makes it feel not so long is like the vocals in the verses and chorus are like arresting, and you're like in it, and then all of a sudden it like explodes on you and you're like, oh, here we are, and then it's over. But it's a good song. It's definitely, for some people, it's like a challenging listen. At our show, a bunch of people are like, I cried, my friend, you made me cry. And that was a cool thing to hear because it landed with people.
I was starting to get like goosebumps, you know. That's how I know it's like a good. That's how I know it's a good song when you get that like feeling in your soul, you know. So,
And a biological response.
yeah, no, I feel like a lot of the times when I hear a really good song, I do get those like, you know, I get the goosebumps. So I felt very much in that sort of lane. Close to crying. I want to say I was like about like if that ending part went on for maybe like another minute, I probably would have just like your boy would have ripped some tears here live. But yeah, no, this one was really good. I would say even more so than Lifeline. I think this one is very much the dark horse, you know. But yeah, this one was great. It was great. So you gotta give you guys a lot of, you know, I'll do it. I'll give you guys a lot of kudos for this song because it was very good. We are gonna move into track 9, which is In the Hollow. This is I think this, if my memory serves me correct, this is a Hoosty favorite. Is that, am I correct on saying? Oh, it's Josh. Okay. See, that's what happens when you do it live. Now I look like an idiot. So this is Josh's favorite. So we're gonna have to give this one a listen and vibe out with this one. All right. It's kind of got a little bit of like a Sleep Token vibe, which I'm about.
Is there a balance to the order? My heartbeat matches to the universe, like one step back and one step forward. I placed all my trust into the words. Never thought that I believe it.
All right.
Never told the words resonate within, and I'll set my skin until my soul divides. Yeah, never thought I'd see the day we slay the fight. We pay the toll to make it all whole, so we keep our presentable day.
That's cool. I like
'Cause I
that.
walk through hell to see if I can make it. Give myself another life right after I take it.
Oh, this chorus is catchy as hell. I like this.
This is the end. Break down again. Ooh, I don't think I can do this anymore. Living with all these ghosts inside my head. Yeah, fever dream, I can sweat it out. Wish they were here to see this now. This is the end. 'Cause I walk through hell to see if I can make it. Give myself another life right after I take it. This is the end. Break down again.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Matches we rise, like hope in the dust, to become the light and bring back the love. Purpose and full come together as one. Beauty is born at the death of a son. Promise me that you won't let me down. Set us free so that all will be found. Maybe now there
All right.
will be
That's
some
sick.
peace.
Okay.
Maybe now there will be some peace. There can be peace.
Nice. All right.
Cause I walk through hell to see if I can make it. Give myself another life right after I take it. This is
This was a good one.
Switch my favorite to this one.
Yeah.
I fucking love this song.
It's just like the drumming seems so like upfront, and I love that. Like, I feel like Chris killed it, and then Josh and Hoostie's riffs, man. I don't know. There's just something special. There's some like je ne sais quoi about it, you know. So I liked it. This one was a fun one. I also think that it just got a great like groove to it. Like, there's just something about it with just like the drumming and the guitar work. They just like mesh so well together. So I could definitely see why this one would be a favorite for Josh. 100%, because this one is a vibe. I definitely enjoyed this one a lot. I like kind of like, and I don't know if this was intentional, but the way that Jackson like lyrically kind of hits the points of like some of the like drum hits, like some of the cymbal hits. That was cool. I like that. Like I said, I imagine it was intentional, but it's a nice little like touch if you're like into music. Like, if you play an instrument, you're like, I got you. Like, I know what you're doing, you know? So I gotta give you the salutes for that, because that was really neat. But yeah, the overall vibe was really fun. There's one gripe I had about it. I thought for sure Hoostie was gonna hit us with like some like rap parts like in that bridge portion of the song. So I was a little surprised that didn't happen. So that would be my only exception that I feel like doesn't knock down the song in any way. It was just more or less like I was kind of hoping he was just gonna like go off, you know, and he didn't.
Yeah,
So I'm a little disappointed in you, Hoostie.
Plus, it felt a bit inappropriate for this one.
Fair enough.
Maybe
Okay.
the narrative side of it, because Jackson's sister is also in this one, and the bridge is basically a drum solo.
That's true. Yeah.
It leads into a 3-part harmony between Jackson's sister Adrian, and myself, and that harmony section is one of my favorite parts of the album.
That harmony section is very sick. Yeah.
For me to come in and just be like, yo, I'm gonna just like fuck that idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we always love it when Hoostie raps. And
I do. Yeah. Hoostie has been the surprise of this album for me. Like, again, I'm still in a state of subversion that I don't believe he's actually doing it. So I'm gonna have to see you guys live and then still not believe it.
Yeah. It's fake. He's not actually doing it.
He's just like,
Yeah.
like just like mouthing the stuff. I'm like, is he mouthing
You should have
it?
seen it in Grant's Pass when Hoostie rapped for the first time. There's these like few dudes in the front who lost their freaking minds.
I
They're like,
would be saying,
what? It was awesome.
yeah. I feel like it would be the scene in like Temple of Doom when like when they like his just face melts, like, you know.
We use that in a like for the
Destroyer.
No, you did not. Oh, that's great. Okay, that's awesome.
For the guitar solo.
For the guitar solo, we have all their faces melt.
You should just do that for. I feel like that's only the common thing with like watching Hoostie rap. Like, I feel like my brain would melt. Like, I would just be a pool, you know. I just pool up. But yeah, this one was great. This one's definitely in my favorites. I can confidently say, because I have listened to Stardust, but we'll still listen to it anyway, of course, because we have to complete the lineage here. But I have to say, I'll save it for the end. But I was gonna say my favorites. I'll save it for the end because we still didn't finish. We didn't finish the album yet, so I don't want to come to the end of that one. But in regards to In the Hollow, how did this one kind of come to be in terms of the demo stages? Did it kind of keep relatively the same in terms of that process? I'm sure, obviously, Josh can speak on that.
Wasn't that one of the earlier ones that we did together?
This was literally the first piece of music that we
What?
wrote for this album.
Okay.
And I don't think it changed that much, honestly. Maybe lyrically a bit, because obviously we wrote, I think, just the chorus.
We had
Okay.
just the chorus.
Then we had to adapt all of that into the concept, because this was written before we had an idea of what the album was going to be. And so musically, I think it remained mostly the same, but lyrically we had to tie it in a bit more into the concept.
Yeah, so my memory is that Josh and I feel like we made the beginning together, like that intro bit, and then
I think we made a lot of it together.
yeah, we made maybe the intro through the first chorus,
Something like that, yeah.
and then we didn't have the bridge yet. That was something that came
Oh.
later and doing, and like that was like an idea to like have it culminate in this big 3-part that we came together, and like at first it was like they weren't so sure, and then we like demoed it out a bit more, made some changes, and it came together. But yeah, I mean that first chorus was like one of the first things we had, and it was just like this rips. That literally the thing you're talking about, that accent, like the da 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 da.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit, and I just wanted to like hit on it with it because like in my soul, like that hits so hard.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's, like, gah, gah, and just saying like this is the end, break down again. I'm like, yeah, emo, and then at the beginning it was a lot of fun because we did a lot of like weird filtered vocals that are like rah, rah, rah. And I talked like there's a thing in the background of me just like at first we were lost inside, and then I don't remember the fuck I said, but it's all in there.
And Louis Strongwood.
Yeah, Louis Strongwood. But it was cool to have my sister on it. She's like the voice. She's in the 3-part, and then she's that voice like that. There can be peace, but it is up to you. What will you decide? She's an actor. And so she did that. She's like, "Was that good?" And we were like, "That was perfect."
Big
You really
salutes
wanted
to your
an English
sister.
accent?
Yeah. What?
I said big salutes to your sister for being
Oh yeah,
on the
Jason's
album.
sister Adrian. But yeah, we wanted an English accent.
Oh,
And
so
we
you asked her to do an English accent?
The demo was it the demo
The
version
demo.
was very like English accent.
Because I was like,
and-
"There can be peace, but it is up to you. What will you decide?" And then we were like, "Well," she's like, "I'm not English."
and we're
then-
in space.
and we're in space, so it just ended up being this sort of mid-Atlantic or transatlantic sort of in between thing.
I put a lot of effects on it.
A lot of effects. Shout out to Portal output. We love Portal. It's
Shout out to Portal.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad. I'd love to hear the demo version of her saying it in like a British accent. That would have been
I
great.
think it was me.
Yeah.
And in the
Oh,
demo,
was it? Oh, that's great. That's even better.
The demo was me. For some reason, when I pretend to be British, it's easier to do with things that I think are a little weird. Not that British people are weird, but it's like this isn't my voice. This is like a different voice.
All the British people left. They're like out of this chat now.
Sorry, England. We love hanging out with you, Low Life, Chester Cheeto, and Marissa. So glad you've been
Yes.
here with us.
Thank
the whole
you.
time.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. This is great. So come back,
Yeah.
please.
Me.
But this one's great. I think again, I'll get into my favorites at the end, but we're gonna get to the last track, the final track of the album. Guys, listen, I've already said this multiple times, but I'm gonna say it again. If you'd like to help out Designer Disguise, and I think you should, because listen, they're a bunch of nice gentlemen, and you should really help out in picking up this record, Elswear. It's in the description. Go buy it. Go pick up some merch. Again, be the envy of all your friends and pick up that sick poster as well. Just peak stuff with Designer Disguise. So I'm very excited. And we were going to get into the last track. I know we're at the end of the line, guys. It's really upsetting, but we're going to do it. This is track 10. This is Stardust. This is where it started all for me and having these guys on. So let's give this bad boy a listen. Now it's gonna make sense. Not like before, where it didn't.
Nothing left, everything fades to black. Stardust rebuilt from coals, return from nothing. Learn from your mistakes, big
All right, guys. That was track 10, Stardust. We have finally finished the album, Elswear. Pick it up in the description. I already said that like literally a couple minutes ago, but do it again because it's great. Go pick it up. But yeah, this was my first introduction to Designer Disguise. It just was the first one that like populated on YouTube. And they have a really cool music video, so you should go check that out. I will probably link all of the music videos in post in the description, so also go check out those as well. But I really enjoyed this one. I think I have more an appreciation for Stardust now, listening to the album and kind of getting an idea, because I think Stardust, well, I do feel like it gives you a pretty good idea of what Designer Disguise is. I do feel like there is, I do think there are some things where I'm like, I don't know if that's 100% it, but I do feel like collectively, as that song, I do feel like it does take little bits and pieces of it. Because originally I was like unsure about if I was gonna really enjoy this album, but I can say I was very delightfully surprised at how this album turns around, and I think that Stardust is a really good representation of the album itself. So I would say that one is a very good song to check out. If you aren't familiar with Designer Disguise, I would probably say that one, and I'd probably say Lifeline again. I think I said that earlier. I think those two are probably ones that I would say give you the best idea of, like, you know, there is some like rapping going on. There's obviously some like metalcore, like breakdown goodness, you know, and I think like vocally kind of gives you a pretty good idea about it as well. And I think like kind of the musical motifs in both Stardust and Lifeline do a pretty good job of giving you an idea of what's there. Obviously there are some songs that are outliers, more specifically like Destroyer and I think Infinite. I think those two, and I would also include Everyday as well. I feel like those three are just like the ones that you're like can't really place them, but they work, you know, in the whole general like musical soundscape. But I would say if you want something a little bit out there but still very good, I'd probably recommend those three. But yeah, I really enjoyed Stardust. I think I enjoyed it that much more listening to it a second time. And the chorus was super, super good. That last ending with like the breakdown, chef's kiss. It was so Mamma Mia. It was so good. it was so good. So I absolutely love that one. I think I turned a leaf on that one. That one was a good one.
Yeah.
But in regards to the songwriting process, guys, did this go through some revisions, or did it kind of pretty much remain the same as from the demo?
This one pretty much remained the same from the demo. I think the only thing that really changed is the intro, like before the chorus comes in, like that's the synth part. It was different in the beginning. Like it was also a synth intro, just different. And I added the breakdown at the end, actually pretty late in the process.
Yeah.
Good moves, Josh.
It stayed like it was this like we had this idea in the last chorus of like having all these motifs from earlier in the album. That had to happen at the end because we hadn't written all the other things yet, and so like, you know, there's stuff from like a bunch of the songs in there. At the end, you get a little bit of Risen. I think I ended up doing like a few revisions of lyrics on a song. Like it took a sec to find the right and melodies to find like the right shit. And then singing this live, it feels really, really good. So I'm glad that we went through that. But yeah, the fucking breakdown at the end every time we play that live, I love. There's the part where Husey and I both punched. I do that every time live. I'm like, I fucking love it. I feel.
Okay. I thought you guys like punched each other, and then I would have been
no,
like,
no.
You're like,
no violence.
Just,
no violence.
Just deck Husey on stage. I've been like,
no decking.
No decking. Good. That's good.
Only million.
Wouldn't want to
matching
ruin
cards.
that beautiful soul, Hoosty. You know, I would be very upset.
No.
You know.
We must protect Hoosty at all costs.
Yeah, he's my brother from another mother. So I mean, you know, I gotta protect my brother. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
All right.
forever.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think this is a great end cap to a record that I was very surprised about. You know, I think it takes you. I think going on a roller coaster journey, I think it really gives you a good perspective and a good base point for how this album is, because you listen to Corrupted Cyborg and you're like, what the fuck's this band gonna do, right? And then you get all the way to Stardust and you're like, what the fuck is this band gonna do? You know, like but at least by the point you get to Stardust, you like get it, you know. So I think this was a fantastic record, and thank you guys for joining me to, you know, obviously talk about it and go a little bit more in depth within it. But obviously, as I have mentioned, I have to talk about my top 5 favorite songs off of this album. So I feel like I have to go with, now it's deliberation time. What are we gonna do here? All right. So I feel like, as I mentioned before, Digital Ghost, undefeated world heavyweight champion. That's number 1. I can't. Every time I go back to this, you know, the thoughts, I have to go with Digital Ghost. That one's number 1. Number 2, I would probably have to pick Destroyer just from sheer shock value. You know, I don't know if you guys saw, I had to get up and change my pants because I just completely shat myself. And then, you know, then I came back here. It was super quick. I don't think there was no cuts. You know, just
That
really.
must have been when we were in the restroom changing our pants too.
Yeah, exactly. We were all changing our pants at the same time. So glad we were on the same page on that one. So, you know, Destroyer means is two different words, you know. So that's great. That was a terrible joke. I'm gonna say so I have Digital Ghost, Destroyer. I would probably put I'm gonna probably put Abandoned Ship at 3. And then we're gonna go with Everyday is number 4. And then I would probably put Lifeline last in my top 5 favorites. I will give an honorable mention to Infinite though, because that one was good, but your boy doesn't, you know, I love a good cry, but I don't want to be crying for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna politely leave that as honorable mention, but it is a fire track. So, but I would probably say those are my top 5. Those are the ones I enjoyed the most. And then I don't know what everybody else's barometer is on that, but I feel like, you know, if you are in the Digital Ghost camp, let me know down in the comments or in the live chat. Would love to know. Would love to let you know what your favorites are. And obviously the guys at the top of the show told us what their favorites are. So I feel like, you know, in order to be a part of the crew, you gotta tell us, you know, your favorite song. So definitely do that. And guys, we did it. We did the live track by track. Tell the people where they can find Designer Disguise at. And also, you know, I'll figure I do it on here. So the interview will be going out. I'll actually be pulling it up while the guys, you know, give their plug spiel. But I'll give the exact date so everybody can come check it out when it comes out.
You can find us on all social media platforms. Search Designer Disguise, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Please hit us up on Spotify Music. We are on Twitter, but we don't use it because I hate that shit. Find us on Spotify, Apple Music. It comes out on all the things. If you use YouTube Music or Amazon, we're on YouTube. And on Tuesday, which is in 2 days, which rhymes, because it has the same last word, Low comes out. We're having some fun with some silly covers that are a lot of fun to vibe to. And more original music is in the works.
Still works.
And we're not stopping. And I know Hoosty's gonna go ham on the next track that we do. I
Okay.
just know it.
Bless.
I just know it.
Bless.
Bless.
Yeah, and also make sure to, if you like it, check out our music videos. We probably spent as much time on those as we did making the whole ass album. So
Seriously.
yeah,
The ass
we
album.
spent a
Oh,
lot.
sorry.
Yeah, we all ran ourselves ragged doing them. It was a battlefield.
Love
not
is
really
about.
a
Sorry.
Love
I
is
can't.
battlefield. But I mean, the videos are like, there's a couple of them are kind of battly. We have a really cool animated video for Lifeline that's like anime.
Yeah.
Check them out. One of our friends put all the songs in order, so
Woo!
you can watch Destroyer, Abandoned Ship, Lifeline, and then Stardust, and Everyday Lyric video all at once.
Yeah. Go check them out. Our interview, guys, is going to be going out on February the 22nd. So come back to the channel. We talked about the album. There may or may not have been a Hoosty shot in the bathroom, where we were a part of his sink for a little bit, and that was such a great time. We loved being a part of his. We love being a part of his sink journey. So
Yeah, the skunk nut.
Skunk that nunk. Grah.
you skunked it.
We brought it back.
So you did. I appreciate that. No one's gonna get that now, but then they're gonna go back and watch and be like, "Okay, I got you, guys."
They're gonna be like, oh, they're probably not gonna get it then, but they'll be a part of it then.
They'll be a part of it, yeah. So it's an inside joke for now, but then like when you watch the interview, then it won't be. You'll be a part of the crew. So
on the ends.
you'll be on the ends. So also. Chester said, "I'd love to find y'all in a town near me." So
We will find you, Chester. We will.
I'm also hoping the same thing, but I argue I'm a little bit further away from your town. So, but for real, go check out Designer Disguise. This was such a great time, and honestly, the record slaps. So you should go pick it up. Go check it out, and go support these guys, because I'm very stoked to see what they're going to do next. They're going to be working with Christopher Nolan next, so I mean, and Steven Spielberg, so I mean, only, the Designer Disguise stonks are on the low right now, but they're going to very much be on the high, so, you want to buy in low now while the stonks are low, but then the stonks will go up. You'll be rich in Designer Disguise tokens. So I'm just telling you now.
Right.
You heard it here first. But thanks to the guys for coming on and chatting. And like I said, the interview is coming out on the 22nd of this month. So should not too much longer to wait, but definitely be stoked on when it comes out, because it was a good time. So please go give them some love. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, share. Please, that would be super sick. Want to give a shout outs to Invogue again. Big salutes. They're great. Love all those people over there. So big salutes to them. And thank you for joining us. And guys, I put out a lot of content. So like, if you like what I do and you like me being an idiot, then that's me every day. So come hang out. Come join me. Come do all this shit, and if we hit 10,000, I feel like I gotta do my Mr. Beast moment, and be like, we had 10,000 likes on this video, I'm gonna be giving away a Tesla or something. Please don't. I'm actually not going to. I'm poor, so I don't know if I could afford that. I might have to tweet at Mr. Beast to lend me the money so then I can get you a Tesla. But that's it. We're at that point in life. So, but. Huge thanks to the Designer Disguise guys for coming on and taking the time to go through the album with me.
That's hella fun, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
we really love your channel, and like it's been a lot of fun talking to you. A couple days this week.
Truly.
Like, I feel like we'd be good homies if we were living a little.
Oh
closer.
no, we are good homies. What do you think this is, Hoosty? We are good homies.
yeah,
That's it.
You're right.
Yeah, you could have just ended that sentence. Not even we live close. We live close in our hearts. So, that's
There we
what
go.
matters.
Mhm.
So, big
Been a lot
salutes.
of fun.
Go give them some love. Designer Disguise, they're awesome. please up those streams. I want to see these guys on the East Coast this year. So make it happen, please. So let's go. Guys, run up the numbers, and we'll be checking you out in the next video. Thanks for joining us.